Hello everyone, welcome to video lectures on data mining and data warehouse, module 2, data warehouse implementation and data mining. The content of these modules are data warehouse implementation and data mining. So in the data warehouse implementation part, we are going to study the efficient data cube computation. So in that, an overview, indexing, OLAP, data, in that bitmap index and join index, efficient processing of OLAP queries. Last, we are just comparing the OLAP server architecture ROLAP versus MOLAP versus HOLA. So after that, we are going to discuss introduction to data mining. So in the introduction part, what is data mining? Challenging data mining tasks, data types, so data, types of data, data quality. After that, a complete detailed study about data pre-processing. The last part, measures of similarity and dissimilarity. There are a certain formula with calculation part we are going to discuss. So this is about complete the content of the second module. So now we should discuss about data warehouse implementation. So data warehouse, we know that which contains a huge volume of data. OLAP servers demands that decision support queries can be answered in the order of a seconds. So therefore, it is crucial for data warehouse system to support highly efficient cube computation technique, access method, and query processing technique. So we are going to discuss ORV method of efficient implementation of data warehouse system. So which explores how to compute data efficiently and how OLAP data can be indexed. So using either bitmap or join indexes. And OLAP queries are processed. So what are the comparisons? So efficient data cube computation. So data warehouse contains, we told about a huge volume of data. So in this, first we are talking about the efficient cube computation technique. So here, at the core of multidimensional data analysis is the efficient computation of aggregate functions across many set of dimensions. So in the SQL terms, so these aggregations are referred to as we can call it as a group by. So each group by can be represented by a cuboid where the set of group bys which forms a lattice of cuboid defining a data cube. So here the compute cube operator and the curse of dimensionality. There is one approach. So in the computation of which extent SQL has to be include the compute or cube operator. The cube operator computes aggregate overall subset of the dimensions specified in the respective operations. So this can require excessive storage space, especially for large number of dimensions. So we should look into that, the efficient computation method. So query processing technique, access method. So these are the key point need to be taken to consideration. So while continuing in this, at the core dimensional, so we told about the in SQL terms group by. So each group which are referred by a cuboid defining data cube. So the cube computer operator which accesses all the especially a large volume of dimensions. An example, a data cube is a lattice of cuboids. Suppose that we would like to create a data cube for all electronics of sales that contains the following city, item, year, and sales in the dollars. So we would like to able to analyze the data with queries. So there is a certain queries need to be taken into that. So we want to able to analyze the data where the such queries need to be taken. So here the taking three attribute while considering compute the city, item, and year. So as the dimensions for the data cube and sales in in a dollar as the measures total number of cuboid or group wise that can be computed for the data cube is 2 to the power 3 equal to 8. So how we are going to continue the compute the sum of cell group by the CT item, compute the sum of cell group by CT, compute the sum of cell group by the item. So like that. So there is the possibility. What is the total number of cuboid here? Group by can be computed for this data cube. So talking in the three attribute where we have taken 2 to the power 8. So here the combination we have to take it city comma item comma year, city comma item, city comma year, item comma year, city item year. So total 1 plus 1 2 3 1 plus 3 4 and the individual item is the 3 plus 1. So total 5 plus 3 8. 2 to the power 3 is 8. So if the dimensions is more, obviously this pair of combination will be different. So it means that the group by is empty, the dimensions which are not group. So this is the this group by I think we have taken as a formulation which form lattice a cuboid of the data cube as shown in this figure. So zero cuboid initially zero that is the dimension apex cuboid we can call it as zero is always apex and a lower level to the higher level hierarchies. So single item will be taken one cuboid or three dimensions here city item with a small circle representation. And 2D cuboid, so we have taken city comma item, city comma years, item comma year. And the 3D cuboid is city, item, year. The similar way, so we need to take it the cuboid. So for and suppose the lattice of cuboid making up a 3D data cube. So previously we had seen that figure. So each cuboid represents a different group by actually the base cuboid which contains city, item and year dimensions. So here the thing is the base cuboid contains all the three dimensions city, item, year. So it can return to the sales of any kind of combination for the three dimensions. The apex cuboid previously diagram or zero cuboid refers to the where the group by is empty. So it contains total sum of all the sales. So in SQL query which containing no group by, for example, compute the sum of total sales. So is a zero dimension operation SQL query which contains the one group by compute the sum of sales or group by city or is one dimension operation a cube operator n dimensions is equivalent to a collection of group by statement. So a cube operator n dimension is equivalent to the collection of the group by statement one for each subset of the n dimensions. So therefore the cube operator n dimensional generalized of the group by operator is define a cube sales of a cube city, item, year, and sum of sales in dollars. Compute the cube sales or sales underscore cube. The thing is, for how many cuboids are n-dimensional data cube? That we are thinking. So there is a concept which may be referred to as then is multidimensional aggregate in the degree of the pre-computation. So this concept we can call it as a hierarchies, each multiple levels. This is the type of the problems is referred to as the curse of dimensionality. The extent of curse dimensionality, how we are going to tackle it, how many cuboids are in the n-dimensional data cube. If there were no hierarchy associated with each dimensions, then the total number of cuboids for an n-dimensional data cube is we can see that 2 to the power n. However, in practice, the many dimensions do have hierarchy. For example, time is usually explored not at only one conceptual level here, but rather than at a multiple conceptual level, such as such as in the hierarchy day, month, quarter, year. For n-dimensional data cube, the total number of the cuboids here that can be generated, including the cuboid generated by climbing up the hierarchy along with the respective dimensions, is the total number of cuboid equal to, so I equal to 1 to n, so the I is equal to 1 to n L of I plus 1, where Li is the number of level associated with n dimensions I, and 1 is added to Li in the these equations. So include the virtual top level of all. So we should note that generalizing to all equivalent to the removal of the dimension. Okay. So this is about why that for n-dimensional data cube. So another concept is partial materialization, which are selected for the computation of cuboids. So here, by now, so we probably realize that it's unrealistic to pre-compute and materialize all the cuboid that can possibly be generated for a data cube. So if there are many cuboids and the cuboids are large in size, a more reasonable option is a partial materialization. That is, to materialize only some of the possible cuboids can be, so that can be generated. Partial materialization, selected computation of cuboid, so that can be taken into the three party. There are three choice of the data cube materialization given. So a base cuboid. So which one is the better choice to select? Okay. So with a base condition we need to be selected choice. So there are things is given. First, no materialization. So we do not pre-compute. It says that do not pre-compute any of the non-base cuboid. It should be given as a base cuboid. But it is saying that do not compute any of the non-base cuboid. So which leads to what happens? So which leads that computing is expensive multi-dimensional aggregate on the fly, which can be extremely slow. So the second one, the full materialization, recompute all of the cuboid. The resulting lattice of computed cuboid is referred to as the full cube. So actually, this choice typically requires a huge amount of space, memory space, in order to store all the pre-computed cuboids. Partial materialization selectively compute a proper subset of the whole set of a possible cuboid. So here selectively compute a proper subset of the whole set. So Alternately, we may compute subset of the queue which contains only those cells that satisfy the some user specified criterion, such as where the tuple count of each cell is above some threshold. So we will use the term here subcube to refer to the later case where the only the sum of cell may be precomputed for various cuboids. The partial materialization represents an interesting trade-off between storage space and partial respective response time. Another thing we need to talk about the partial materialization of a cuboid or sub keyword should consider that factor. So identify the always should satisfy the subset of cuboids or subcubes of the materialized. The second thing, exploit materialization cuboid or during the query processing, efficiently update materialized cuboid or subcubes during the load and refresh of the data. So actually the selection of the subset of cuboids or subcube to materialize should we need to take into the queries of the workflow. So there are some strategies we need to follow that select particularly partial materialization, that is the iceberg cube. You can compute an iceberg cube which is a data cube that stores only those cube cells with an aggregate value, that is count, that is we can call it the iceberg cube. So that is the sum of the minimum threshold values. Another common strategies in the materialize to the cell cube, which involves a pre-compute cuboid in a smaller dimensions 3 to 5. So this is the way we need to the partial cuboid or materialization. So next minimum our the major topic is indexing. The indexing OLAP we had we know that about indexing having technique in the structure data structure and all. So like that here indexing in this online analysis processing. So warehouse data, how we are going to indexing that OLAP. The two things here indexing technique is bitmap index and a join index. So we need to the facilitate uh, the efficient data accessing most of the various support in the structure material using cuboid. So there is a general method to select the cuboid materialization what we discussed about, but we examine how to index OLAP data by bitmap indexing and join indexing. So now we should discuss about first in the bitmap indexing technique. The bitmap indexing is a popular OLAP product because it allows a quick searching data cube. So no doubt at all. So the bitmap index is an alternative representation of the record ID RID list that should have a RID list. The bitmap index for the given attribute, there is a distinct bit vector BB. We can call it as a BB for each value B in the domain of the attribute. So that we need to take that BB with the attribute of the domain. So if the given attribute domain consists of n values, then n bit are needed for each entry in the bitmap index. So there are n bit vector. So if the attribute has the value v for a given row in the data table, then the bit representing that value is set to 1 or in the corresponding row of the bitmap index. Then all other bitmap for the row are set to 0. So whatever we are setting into the bitmap value, so that corresponding value will be set it as to 1. The respective entire row in the other values are set to be 0. This is the thing we need to all other bit like that whatever we are going to set in the same row are set to be 0. Example. So let us take an example. Again, the all electronic uh, data, sales of data information. material sales. So the suppose that dimension item here at the top of the level has four values representing the item types. We know that home entertainment, computer phone, security, and phone and security. So each value, the computer is represented by a bit vector, uh, bit vector like C bitmap index in the table form. Suppose that the cube stored as a relation table with 1 lakh rows. So because the domain of the item consists of four values, the bitmap index table which requires the 4-bit vector or list. So each of the 1 lakh bit. Okay. So now here in that the figure with table contains dimensions, items, and city, and it's mapping to the bitmap index table for each dimensions. So this is the one indexing table. Assume that is the base table. So and this is the item bitmap indexing table, and the last one is city bitmap indexing table. So let us take this table. So here item that is the RID R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6, R7, R80. So item will be we have represented H for home entertainment, C for computer, P for phone, S for security item. Like that we have represented the first letter of the items. City, Vancouver, and Torrent. All the first four belongs to the Vancouver city, and the next four item belongs to the Toronto. So now see that indexing table. So bitmap indexing table, consider this. Bitmap index table, RID is the same. So number of values we need to take it is the same row. Okay. This is the sold out information. The values of R1, RID of the home entertainment we have set to 1 indicates that that item has to be as that item has been sold. And the same in the city, the rest of all the item is not to be not sold. So we have to set computer 0, phone 0, rest all 000, because what are the values only that we need to take. Similarly, in the next C, the computer sold in RID2, RID3, phone sold, RID4, last one security item sold out. Similarly, the which these four all belongs to the city Vancouver. Come to the Toronto, again same thing. R5 is the sold out item is the home appliances and computer and phone and security item. So this is the thing. Come to the city bit map indexing table. So RID is given same thing here. R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6, R7, and R8. So you uncover which city because the starting that we need to take. If that R1 is city 1, R2 there again number is the R3. One values is that that value we are going to take 1, 2, 1, 1. So the rest will be 0. Then here R5, 6, 7, 8 will be 0. Then Toronto the city values are 1. So now let us discuss join indexing. So unless that, bitmap indexing has advantage compared to the hash and tree indices. So it is especially useful for low cardinality domains because comparison, join, and aggregation operations are then reduced to the bit arithmetic, which is substantially reduces the processing time. So even though bitmap indexing leads to insignificant reductions in the space and input or output, since a string of characters can be represented by a single bit. For higher cardinality domains, the method can be adopted so using the compression technique. So now let us discuss join indexing, a method which has gained popularity from its use in relational data query processing. So actually traditional indexing map the value in the given column to a list of rows having that value. Join indexing registers the joinable row of two relations from a relational database. So in the if the two relations here in contrast, join indexing registers the joinable row of two relations from a relational database. For example, if two relations R of RID, A and S of B, SID join the attribute, so the A and B, then join index record the which contains the pair of RID and SID, where RID and SID are record identifiers from the R and S relations with respectively. So hence the join index records can identify joinable tuples without performing the costly join operations. So hence here join indexing is especially useful for maintaining the relationship between foreign key, but because this implementation of foreign key little bit costly compared to the bitmap index. Join indexing is something it is costly, matching the primary key from the joinable relations. So actually the star schema model of data warehouse make the join indexing attractive for the cross table search because of linkage between the fact table and its corresponding dimensions table. The fact table foreign key and dimension primary key need to be joined. The thing is we should see that indexing which maintains the relationship between the attribute value of dimensions, the corresponding rows in the fact table. So here linkage between a sales fact table and dimensions table for location and item. So now the main street here we have the location. This is the central fact table T57 to T238 T459 and T884 item Sony TV. So just assume that here. So the sales star. So the time, item, branch, location here, the dollar will be sold out, which we have taken the same example. The for example, main street value in the location dimensions table which joins with the tuples T57, T238 to 884 of the sales. This is the sales packed tables. Similarly, the Sony TV, the value in the dimension table which joins the tuple 57 and T4 4.9. So of the sales pack table. Actually, the corresponding join index table, which we can see that. So if you have taken this the table in the next figure, so that we have included in that notations. Okay, in this table. So let us discuss which linkage. We should say that the first diagram linkage between a sales fact table and location and item dimension tables. Location and item are the dimensions table. Okay. So now here join index table for the location bar sales. So the main street T sales key is T57. Main street sale key is the 238. Main street sales key is the 884. Similarly, the join index table for item or sales. Where item Sony TV key is T57. Next the Sony TV again T459. Similarly, so the join index table after combining. So after joining that one, so we will come to know that indexing the key values we need to with the key value we can search all the this table. So join indexing table linking the two dimensions locations item or sale. So the locations main street Sony item. So the key is T57. So with this key we can come back to this previous table and So the join index table based on the linkage between the sales pack table and dimension table for the location and item which we have shown in the previous diagram. So this is the way of how that join and bitmap indexing for index. This is the indexing technique in the OLAP data. So next we will discuss the efficient processing of OLAP queries. The purpose of actually materializing the cuboid and constructing OLAP index structure is to speed up recovery of query processing in the data queue. So, given materialized view, query processing should proceed in the following ways. The one is determine which the operation should perform on the available keyword. Actually, this involves transforming any selection technique, projection, roll-up or group by technique, drill down operations specified in the query into a corresponding SQL or OLAP operations. For example, here slicing and the dicing. Slicing and dicing data may correspond to a selection or projection operation on a particular materialized cuboid. So determine to which materialized cuboid is the relevant operation should be applied. So this involves actually identifying the all of the materialized cuboid so that may be potentially be used to answer the query. Pruning the setup using knowledge of uh, dominance relationship among the cuboid, estimating the cost of using the remaining materialized cuboid and actually selecting the cuboid with the least cost. So we should take that an example of 2 point previous example OLAP query for suppose that we have to define data queue for all electronics with the sales queue time item location and sum of sales in dollars. That is the example. So how we are going to write that total order? Uh, so total order dimension hierarchy used are the total order is we should call it as a total order. So that total order day start with the united comma day, month, quarter, year. For the time, so item name, brand, type for the item, street, city, province, state, and country for a location. Suppose that the query to be processed uh, is on particularly brand or provinces. We say that with a selection constant year 2010. Also suppose that there are 4 materialized cuboid as available. So cuboid 1, year, item, name and city. Cuboid 2, so year, brand and country. Cuboid 3, year, brand, province and state. Cuboid 4, item, name, province, state. So where 2000, where the year is equal to 2000. So which of these 4 cuboids should be selected to process the query? That is the question. So can answer this. Actually, finer granularity data cannot be generated from a coarser granularity. Granularity is for small pieces of data. Actually, therefore, the cuboid 2 cannot be used country in the more general concept of province and state. Cuboid 2. Cuboid 1 and 3 and 4 can be used to process the query because of one, the cuboid one, so they have the same set or superset of the dimensions in the query 2. Actually, the selection clause in the query can be imply the selection in the cuboid. Third, the abstraction level for the item location dimension in this cuboid are actually finer level than the brand and state province or respectively. So this is the thing how we are going to take it. So how would the cost of each cuboid compare if we used to process the query. It's likely to be used in the cuboid. One would cost the most because the both tie item name and city are the lower level, the brand and the province or state concept is specified in the queries. So next we are going to discuss the OLAP server architecture comparison. So ROLAP, that is relational OLAP servers, and multidimensional MOLAP, multidimensional OLAP servers. So the next one is the hybrid OLAP server, and one more it is there also, that is specialized, that is the SQL servers. So now logically, we should take it about OLAP server present the business users with multi-dimensional data from the data warehouse or data mart without concern regarding how or where the data are stored. So, however, the physical architecture, the implementation OLAP server, so which means must consider data storage issues. Implementation of warehouse server of our OLAP processing, which includes that one, ROLAP. The first one is ROLAP. These are the actually intermediate server that stand in between the relational backend server and client of the front end. So the use the relational or extended the relational DBMS, RDBMS to store and manage the warehouse data, and OLAP middleware to support all the missing pieces. So actually ROLAP server, which includes the optimization for each DBMS backend, implementation of aggregation of navigation of logic, additional tool service. So ROLAP technology, which always tend to have a greater scalability than MOLAP. So here the DESS server of MicroStrategy, for example, adopt the ROLAP approaches. The second one is the MOLAP, multi-dimensional OLAP server. This server supports always multi-dimensional view of data through the array-based dimensional multi-dimensional storage engine. They map multi-dimensional views directly to the data cube array structure. The advantage of this using data cube is that allows the fast injection to pre-computed summarized data. So we know that there are many MOLAP server adopt a two-level storage representation to handle dense and parse the data sets. The denser subcubes are identified and stored as array structure, whereas a sparse subcubes, which employs the compression technology for efficient storage utilization. So this is about MOLAP. Now the last one is hybrid OLAP. So HOLAP. The hybrid OLAP approach combines ROLAP and MOLAP. Their both technique will be combined here, and benefiting from the greater scalability of ROLAP and faster the computation of MOLAP. So especially for example, HOLP server may allow the large volume of detailed data to be stored in a relational database, while aggregation are kept in a separate MOLAP store. So where it will be applied in the Microsoft SQL Server supports this hybrid OLAP server. And the last one is the HOLAP. That is the after the HOLAP SQL servers. So in the SQL servers, specialized, we say that specialized SQL server, so that provide advanced query language and query processing support for SQL queries over star and snowflake schema in a read-only environment. Actually, how are data actually stored in ROLAP and MLOP? So this is depends upon the summary of the fact tables. how the RLOP data stored, how MLOP data stored, and that's combination of that we have taken as HOLAP hybrid approach. OLAP approach is the combination of these two. Then SQL query or specialized query, which is always processing relational database systems. So this is the ends of this uh, OLAP server architecture, that's comparison versus ROLAP versus MOLAP versus HOLOP. So this is the end of this data warehouse concept as per the given syllabus. So in the next video, we are going to start the mega trend concept, that is the data mining concept.